Today, I am going to walk you through how email experts are able to find webmails behind every or any business or company email. Okay, so if you have a business email account and you want to find the webmail behind it, yes. Are you ready? Let's get into it. My name is Kojon Kete of SAS Media Studio. On this channel, we create lessons relating to affiliate marketing, email marketing, cold email marketing, making passive money online, cryptocurrency, business marketing, and yes, affiliate marketing as well. All right, website development as well. So please kindly subscribe if you want such content, and also like this video and leave your comment at the comment section. Now let's get right into it. Okay, all right, so I am going to do a quick search. All right, so this is it. So I am going to search for electrical company. So electrical company. So let's see if we can find something here. So we have Iska electrical, tech electrical. So I'm going to open it. Then I'm going to open this as well. All right, so I'm going to open two websites to find their business email, right? Okay, so we have one business email over here. This, I'm going to copy this. Okay, so I'm going to open Notepad. So I'm going to paste it inside here. Let me check the other website as well. Let me scroll to the bottom. Okay, they only have a phone number over here. Contact us. Yes, so we have, so they are using Gmail, so this is not a business email, so we are just going to focus on this email. All right, so now we have an email. Okay, now this is the email and we want to find the webmail behind it. Now before we can access the webmail, or we can find the webmail, or how to access, if we have their login, how to access their webmail, then we need to find out the company which is hosting this particular email server. You understand? Now for us to find the company that is hosting this particular email server, we need to find the IP address behind this email server. Now before we go into deep making a search about this, we have two sections of this email, right? The first email is info and the second email is agendagh.com. all right, so this is the domain and this is the mailbox, right? So you are going to find this mailbox on this domain, right? In order to find this mailbox, search for this domain. So we are going to use this domain to derive all the data or the information. All right, so we have two ways of getting the data that we want from this this email, right? So we are going to use two different websites for the first procedure. They are going to use one particular website for the second procedure, and mind you, the second procedure is the most simplest one. All right, so now let's go to the first website. The first website is called the dnschecker.org, right? So we are going to just copy the domain as I copied, and you are going to paste it over here. Now what we are going to do now is we are going to check the IP address associated to this particular domain. So I am going to click on search. Okay, make sure you select A, because in order to find an IP address associated to any domain, we need to find the A record, because the A record is the DNS record that can help us to link our domain to our IP address. All right, now before I continue, I want to tell you I have a course on Udemy about how to create your own email server, your own SMTP server, and I talked about DNS record and how email works when you click on the send button. So if you want this course, just check the description and also the first comment and enroll on that course, and you are going to enjoy it. All right, so we have to make sure we set the A record. Then you click on the search. Interesting. So now we have some IP address associated to this particular domain. Now, why is it important to use the domain to search for the IP address? Now, when you buy a hosting, the hosting is going to give you an IP address, but you have to buy a domain to connect it to the IP address, because you don't want your visitors to be typing the IP address to locate you. So you represent your IP address with a domain. So behind the scene, the IP address is the main H, or the main guy, okay, and the domain is just a representative, right? Okay, so now we know that this is the IP address, right? So this tool is going to help us to find more information about this IP address. So now when I click on this icon over here, or let's say this, yes, this icon over here, or this symbol over here, see what's going to happen. Good. Now when I scroll down, now we can see we have IP2 location, ipinfo.io, ipgeolocation.io, all right, dpip, then a lot of informations. Now let me scroll up to the first one, which is the IP2 location. Now when you check at the top, you can see this is the IP address that we did a search on. So when I go back over here, you can see that the last two digit is 40, and the first three digit is 162. So you can check it over here, right? It is confirmed that this is the same IP address we found associated to that particular domain. So now you can see the country is the United States of America. That's not what we're looking for. Now what we're looking for is the ISP, which is the internet service provider, right? So now, why ISP? ISP is the one which is providing the internet service of a hosting to this particular domain, right? So now the name of the ISP is Unified Layer. So now we have been able to identify that Unified Layer is the host of this particular domain. Hence, that particular email is being hosted on this Unified Layer, but it is not confirmed yet. Someone can design a website on a particular hosting and also use a different hosting for the email server, so we cannot conclude on that. So now what we are going to do now to confirm that if this particular hosting is the only hosting the email account or the email server, right? So now we are going to find out that if this Unified Layer, okay, which gave this IP address to that particular domain, is the one which is hosting the email account. You get it? All right, so now back to this website. Now we are then going to check the MX record. Now in my course I talked about DNS record, where I talked about the MX record being the real engine when it comes to sending emails. Now if you want your email to go through, you cannot omit or you cannot defy the rule of MX record. Yes, so we are going to use the MX record to find the host name of that IP address. Now when we do this MX record search and we find no MX record associated to this particular IP address, that means the hosting provider is not the one who is providing the email service to this particular email. You get it? Right, so since we know that this domain has been linked to the IP address, there's no need to quote the IP address over here, right? So we are just going to click here and select MX record over here, then click on search. Interesting. So now you can see that there are some details over here. Now starting from the mail to this com is the host name. That means this particular hosting provider is the one providing the email address to this particular domain. All right, so now what we are going to do is we are going to confirm with another tool. So we are going to the MX tool. Now I'm going to leave the link of this website at the description down below. So when I click here, I can come to the DNS lookup over here. All right, then I need to type my domain. Okay, back to this website. Sorry, this, no, let me go back to the email. So I'm going to copy this website, then I am going to paste it over here, then click on DNS lookup. Interesting. So you can see that this has given us the A record. So this domain has been linked to this IP address, and this IP address is the same thing as we saw here, right? Very good. So how can you find the hosting provider associated to this IP address in MX Toolbox? We did that using the DNS checker, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to paste the IP address over here, click here, then we come to the reverse lookup. Okay, that is the reverse DNS lookup. In order to set an email account, you need to set the PTR record, which is the reverse DNS record. I talked about this in the course, so go and check it out. So I'm going to click on reverse lookup. Then you can see that we have this unifiedlayer.com, which is the domain name, okay, which is the hosting provider of this particular IP address. Right now we need to find the MX record. That is why we actually came here. So I am going to paste it over here, then select the MX lookup. Right, then I'm going to click on MX lookup. Interesting. So you can see the host name is this particular host name. So now when I click on this host name, let's see what is going to happen. Now as you can see, this host name has also been associated to the same IP address. That means the person used one IP address to host a website and a domain. So that means it is confirmed that this particular hosting provider is the owner of this email, or is the server hoster for that particular email, or is the email hosting provider for this particular email. So this is the first way to do this search. All right, then the second way is to use the email health. So I'm going to click on email health over here. Then we are going to use the email itself without going to bisect it or something like that. I'm going to paste it over here, then click on check email health. This is very fast. Right now, this help us to identify the errors in our SMTP server. Right, so when I scroll down, you can see that we have this, and check here host. So we have host and we have host, and this is a host name, right? So that means this is the MX record or the host name, right? So I'm just going to copy this, right, then go back here, then I'm going to click on the super tool once again, then I'm going to paste it over here, click here and select DNS lookup, then click on that, and you can see the A record is here, and this is the same thing. This is the IP address. Okay, so you have been able to use this strategy to find the IP address. So when I click on the IP address over here, then we can find the hosting provider, which is the unifiedlayer.com. So now it is confirmed that Unified Layer is the one hosting this email account. So now we need to go and find how we can access the Unified Layer webmail. So since we have been able to verify the Unified Layer hosting provider and also the email hosting provider, okay, so one particular website hosting these two at the same time, right? That is it. So now how can we access the webmail? All right, so now we can access the webmail using this address. So webmail dot the domain. All right, so I am going to copy this, okay, paste, then enter, and this is it. You can see it. So if you have the email and the password to this, you enter, you are good to go. Now What about if the person has a different hosting provider and a different email provider? So that means the person built the website on a particular hosting provider and also built the email server or an SMTP with a different provider. Then if that is the case, then the person is going to use Roundcube, okay, as the webmail. So how can we find such if that is the issue? All you have to do is, I'm going to make it bigger over here. All you have to do is you are going to type mail dot the domain. You understand? So if it was Roundcube, you just have to copy this, then you have to paste it in the browser, then enter. This is going to fail because this is using the same hosting provider as the email provider. Yes, so thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a like. If you have any question or suggestion, leave it at the comment section. If you want to enroll in my course, check the description down below and also at the first comment. Let's meet next time. Goodbye.